Hi there, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing today.
Cool.
Do you know anything at all before we start?
Nope.
Okay, any words that come to mind when you see what we're doing?
Religion.
Religion? Okay, I'm just going to tell you a few things that we've gone through for today, just share with you some teachings.
Okay.
So as well as the free food that we've got there, the physical food, I'm just going to give you a bit of food to take in for your inner self as well. Because we've got two parts, right? The mind, the body, and the soul. So that's three parts. So we've got the body and we've got the soul. So we've got the food over there for the body, and with that goes hand in hand is the food for the soul. And the food that we get for the soul is given by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, so our first Guru. And we believe that, you can take that into your hand, and we believe that there's one creator, and you can call it a universe and energy, you can call it God, you can call it Allah, you can call it Christ, whatever you want to call it, but that energy is within all of us. And that energy within us, it has no colour. So it says the human race is all equal. And it's the same light within us all. So the light that's within you is the same colour, same gender, same thing as me. But the body's different. It's just expressed on the outside as a different thing. And as a Sikh faith, we believe in human rights as well. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji, when he came down on the earth, there was a lot of tyranny taking place and injustice. There's a lot of people that were being killed unfairly because the people that were in power, they abused their power basically, and they used it to control and manipulate people. The Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, as well as having a religion that believes in God and believes in saintliness, that believes, in love and respect, we should also stand up for our rights. We should also be able to stand up for what we believe in at the same time. So not taking away the concept of being a saint, it's just putting being a saint into practice. By, if you let people, for example, keep being oppressive, then that's not helping them reach their higher good either. So in a way to help them, a part of helping them is the saint's going to stand up to them and actually say, actually this is what you're doing is in darkness. So out of compassion he also stood up to people, for compassion against those that were doing that, but also the people that were being downtrodden on. And so Sikhi believes that everyone should be able to connect with God. So even if you have a different faith, you can continue to practice that faith. But remember that what we sometimes do when we follow faith is we forget that we're doing it to reach God. And what we do is we label ourselves and we start doing things by rules. But we forget that actually we're on a path, or we're on a journey. Are you cold? Can we get your jacket out?
It's fine.
Are you sure? Okay. We forget that we're on a path to God, and what we start doing is we start remaining stuck within labels. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji always said that even though we believe in one creator, we don't only believe in him, we're on a pathway to meet with him. And our aim is not just to believe, it's actually to merge back with him. And on the process of merging with him is to get other people to merge back into him as well. Because sometimes it's not something that we're taught as a child, that actually when we're born, we're not given a handy book saying welcome to earth, this is what you've come to do, you've come here to meditate, or you've come here to reach your inner self. We're taught maths, science, all those great interesting things, but we're not taught the really interesting thing as in who am I and what am I here to do. And so that's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji taught us. And the first Guru Nanak Dev Ji travelled across the world. So if we look here, he travelled to Rome, to Tibet, to Mecca, and he didn't go around in his Porsche or his Ferrari. He went by foot. So he walked over 30,000 miles in his lifetime. And then following on from there, Guruji, the fifth Guru, in the fifth form, Guruji created a place called Harmandir Sahib. So have you heard of the Golden Temple?
No.
Have you seen pictures of the Darbar Sahib? So it's the one where you've got the Gold Temple surrounded by lots of water.
Okay.
You might, even if you haven't, you'll see a picture around.
Sure.
And in that home, Guruji created 4 doors. So on here you'll see that there's 4 doors, which meant that it didn't matter what religion you were, what gender you were, if you were rich, if you were poor, everybody was welcome in this home. So if we think of, can you think of places today where they probably don't let the riffraff normal people in? and they'll keep it segregated or secluded to the upper classes.
Well, there's just golf clubs, as in golf courses and that sort of stuff that are aimed at the higher end of society, not necessarily the more common people.
Yes, so there's lots of things across society. Golf courses could be one. Maybe certain restaurants as well. Certain, even the opera possibly.
Yeah.
That's not access to all. But what Guruji did, he made sure that his home was open to all. And within his home, there's music. We call it kirtan, which is singing the praises of God, which is singing His excellences. And that kirtan can be enjoyed by anybody, so you don't have to be a mega book millionaire to be enjoying that. So Sikhi doesn't discriminate against those sorts of boundaries. There's no boundaries in Sikhi in terms of who can follow and practice and believe in God. And women were also encouraged to take active roles in believing in God. So the free food was there. Not just it's free on the point of consumption. So obviously that food, someone's worked for it to get it together. But when we put it into our mouth, we don't have to pay physically for it. But what we can do in exchange for it is to meditate and thank God. So even if we have it here, and not only do we thank God for the food that we get here, but even when we go home, because that energy that we get, that ability to work for it, to cook it, to put it in our mouth, to digest it, the ability to do that is also a blessing from God as well. That have you been to hospital and seen people with food pipes, with holes in the food pipes where they can't even swallow themselves? So it's on every level to be grateful for what we have. So when we come to the Gurdwara, it reminds us that we meditate, we pray and thank God for the food here. But also when we go home, the food that we have at home, to thank Him for that as well.
Yeah, sure.
So that's just a bit about this, and you can take those feedbacks with you. Okay. Do you have any questions or any points that you'd like to add, or anything that you find similar that resonates with you?
Well, I'm a Christian, so obviously the merging between you and God, we sort of work around building a relationship with God. The aspect of prayer gives us the ability to relate to God, and the fact that we believe that Jesus was God in human form, so He could suffer as we have done.
Yes.
So in that way we can relate to Him. In that way He knows exactly what we're going through.
Yes.
And we're taught to be thankful and be more grateful of what we have, because the definition of grace is God giving us something that we don't deserve. We don't deserve free will, we don't deserve free food, we don't deserve to go to uni, we don't deserve any of it. But by grace we're given it by God. So there's a lot of overlap between the two, I think.
So it's coming away from this sort of demanding culture and expectations and just being open to His blessings.
Exactly.
And then everything that we do.
Definitely. Okay.
So whatever you do, I mean, like I said, we're not here to convert. It's just about being aware of that. Anybody can connect with God. It doesn't matter who you're from. So keep connecting, making that connection with Him.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for your time.
It's okay.
Thank you.
That's great.